We're recording a second episode in the same location wearing the same thing because Mr. Hallease was like, we're here in the office on the weekend, no one's here. We live semi-far away from the office. We have to capitalize on the fact that we're here and do multiple episodes. This episode of the Beastcast is posing to Mr. Hallease a question.
Well, and you too.
And myself. But a question that isn't necessarily dependent upon the two of us as a couple, and more so like what you want from your own life, right? Which I think ties into the last episode, which was talking about individuality versus being seen as one, and like how do you maintain your individuality and stuff. So yeah. My question is this, Mr. Hallease. When do you think you will feel that you have achieved success for yourself, like in your life? Like, what does success look like for you specifically?
I always take questions like this similar to when someone asks you, hey, what's your favorite hobby? It's like, I have never had a favorite hobby. Like, I've never had a hobby.
Yeah.
At one point, it was like stickers.
You like stickers?
Well, no, because when I was a kid, we used to have these beds with like, what do you call those? Headboard? Mm-hmm. And it was like a little cubby. And so we would my sister and I would put a ton of stickers on the back whenever we had stickers. Yeah. So I would say I collect stickers just to get people off my case. Because I did have a hobby. The house thing really sucks. And so that's bringing me down as to whether or not I actually have found success. But aside from that, I mean, I'm pretty much living it right now.
Wow.
I have a decent job. I'm married to a beautiful woman who supports me. I hope I'm in frame when I'm doing this.
Yeah, you are.
Like we're supporting each other. We're paying bills. We're saving.
Not as much as we used to, though.
I mean, that's kind of out of our control at this point.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. Yeah,
I mean, but we're still maintaining. I wish we were saving a little bit more, but we got 401ks and whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like we're successful. I just wish that there was more. Like, there's always going to be, like, money just worries me all the time.
You are a worrier.
Yeah. I mean, I just focus on things that just need attention. Perhaps a little bit too much, but...
So I guess, so get back into it. Like, what is your ideal?
Okay.
Like, when will you feel like you have hit, like, when will you wake up one day and be like, I have hit success? Like, now it is about maintaining this level of existence.
So I could say that we feel successful. I don't feel...
And not even we, just you. What needs to happen in your life?
Well, so jumping back to my original comment, I feel successful. I would feel more accomplished, or I feel happy in where we are, right? I would feel more accomplished if we were not living with your parents or in-laws, or like if we were still independent as a couple from somebody else. But I am not fulfilled by my job. So if we can maintain, save, live a certain type of life, like just an apartment, y'all. Like, I'm talking 500 square feet. Maybe. Oh man, like
we're on our best minimalist grind now with the whole. Like,
it's not even like I just want.
We have tailored it back. Like, we have gotten down to the bare basics of like what we actually truly need to feel good.
Not even like full size washer dryer connection. Like stackable. You can rent that for like $30 a month. That is cheap. What else are we talking about? Oh man, not just living in one room, but like 500 square feet is a lot of room.
It's a lot of room.
Dang.
That's so much room to me now. Yeah.
Being able to cook our own food, like bringing back that cast iron skillet. I love that thing. Everything else can go. Like that's all and like if we could reach that again, man, that'd be great. But then also. Like that's just like one extra rung, and that's, ooh, man. But if I could find a job that seems to me like the holy grail, like the thing that you would never find is a job that you enjoy doing or you feel like impactful or whatever. Because working in the ER, I felt impactful.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. But it was still only like, I'm putting Band-Aids on people. I'm not saving lives all the time. You would think that wouldn't be the case in the ER, but I mean, I'm not going to go on that spiel, but people use the ER because the healthcare system is broken and they can't get with their primary doctor. And
Yeah.
they come in because they still need help.
It's a bigger problem than you.
Right. But
A way bigger problem than you.
working in hospital quality, y'all can like Google it. It means different things in different hospital systems. It's hard to feel like you're making an impact when you work just with numbers. But if you're an accountant, you would argue otherwise.
If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe.
Also, if you feel
Or
like supporting
cast.
or cast, if this is a video and you feel like supporting,
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. So, and if you are new here and you enjoy this content, consider supporting this channel via Patreon, patreon.com/Hallease.
if you have the means, this is a higher level function.
It is a higher level function. I would love for us to have better audio equipment
Yeah.
to do this.
Or if you feel like you want to, you can just let the advertisements play out, because that also helps.
Let the ad, yes. Yeah. Let the ads play, please.
I
That
mean, we know
helps.
they're annoying.
They are very annoying.
Sometimes they're cool, like the new like Venom trailer or something.
That Fair app, I'm curious about that. I really am.
About the car buying
The car
thing?
buying one? Have you seen that one?
Man, see, they're effective sometimes.
They are effective anyway.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I just like try to bypass it. But yeah, so I mean, if I could just find a role that I feel like I enjoy, and if I can just get up in the morning not thinking that I'm going to work, just thinking that like I'm going to work, but it's not I'm going to work. Does that make sense?
I mean, you put some emphasis on different
Emphasis.
syllables, and that changed it. But
Well, so I'm still thinking of the job as work, whereas I'm going to it's like I'm just going up and going to work, and
Yeah.
that there's a positive mindset about it, and that I'm not like I don't feel negative feelings about it.
yeah,
Whereas it's like, oh, well, I have to go and make money, so
Yeah.
I'm leaving to work.
yeah,
I'm leaving to this thing that I do for 8 hours and then I come back.
yeah. I'm leaving to make sure I get enough money, like that, like different. Okay, that's all. That's what you feel you need. Like to feel like you have achieved success for yourself as an individual is to find fulfillment in your employment. I'm just curious because I know it's different for everybody.
Yeah,
Like
I mean-
I don't think mine is not the same as you.
I'm fulfilled outside of work. I come home, and again, if we weren't living with other people, it's like I can grill. Like I'm trying to think of like 2017, where it's like, yeah, I came.
Oh, so you're pulling from a past self.
Well, because
But you didn't feel successful when you were in that life.
No,
No, you didn't. You were always still looking for more. Like you were looking still for. Well, I mean, you wanted a different job then too.
well, I guess I was driven by money, and I'd still like more money.
I mean, who
doesn't want
like
more
who
money?
doesn't want more money?
But and it's perspective. Like I am grateful for the things that I had, and I wish that if I could reach a similar level after the fact, that'd be great.
Okay.
It's like I come home and I'm not miserable because I'm with you. Like there's nothing negative about being at home.
Yeah.
It's like if I want to go do something, I'll do it. If I want to go run a race, I can. If I, like there was nothing wrong. I don't need, because sometimes I guess you can compare yourself to like college classmates, right? What are they doing? Oh, well they got an award for whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't care though. Like, good for them, but it's like I don't need to compare myself to them because that's not necessarily even the life that I chose for myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a professional life that I'm not 100% content with,
Interesting. Okay.
and I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a nursing. I don't know.
I was just curious.
What about you? Said it would be different for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. It's more like an ideal. I want to be the person that can enable my family or friends or whoever to do what they want to do. Because there's this whole idea of like, you hit a certain level of success and you don't pull the ladder up like after you leave it down, right? And so for me, I keep thinking of like, how can I place myself strategically to climb this ladder and like deal with the things that people don't really have the capacity to deal with, that I think I can handle, to break through it, and then like just be pulling people up the entire time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to hit a certain level of success where I can, like, as Cedric gets older, it's our nephew, as Cedric gets older, I can like invest in him. You know what I mean? And like, if public school ends up being like too terrible or what, or just whatever it may be, and like maybe my sister and her husband want him to go to a better school or like just have a better opportunity, but maybe that's not financially possible, I can be like, bet I got it, you know? And like just invest in that way, or like expose him to a lot of different things, like let him try different after school things and art, like things that if you're a middle class family are doable to expose your children but can be challenging financially to expose your, like so much of like success that I feel like certain people get to is because they just had exposure to things when they were younger, because their parents had the means to give that to them. Even with my own story, like finding video, a lot of that is because even like as a middle class family, I had exposure to it, you know? And I could pull art from it, and then I figured out how to live off of it later, but like I had the exposure. And so I think about it in those terms. Like I think in terms of like, yeah, I want to hit a certain level of success, not necessarily for the vanity of it, but so I can be like a nexus for people to like get to the next thing. And of course, yes, live like comfortably, but I define comfort very similar to you now, in that like if I have a big like in 20 years now, if I'm rolling in a big house, it is because like 10 people are living in said house. You know, it's because like my parents live with us, your parents live with us, Antoinette and Alex live with us, like everyone lives with us, and we have a compound situation and everyone lives with us. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason. I'm not like you know, Rosebud and just like this one person in Xanadu or whatever, and I'm not just one rich old person in this absurd mansion by myself.
Right.
Like, no, what's the point of that? Again, it's like hitting a certain level of success where you can bring people to experience things with you. Like, yeah.
I guess
that's where I'm trying to get. I am content where I'm at right now, definitely. I am content. But I see where I would like to go.
If I can get to a level where I am happy no matter what the time of day or day of the week is, then that's, I mean, we can call that success. Like I will call that success, because then I'm like, oh man, it's like then there is no working for the weekend. It's just like I'm at work, you know, I'm doing good stuff, and then when I'm on the weekend, I get to do my own thing with my wife. Like, oh man, it's just like there's no negativity.
Yeah.
And so I think of like, it's like, oh, let's say you make like $200,000, right? A year.
Ooh.
Let's say you make $200,000 a year. Let's say you make $200,000 a year, and you and I both love the things that we do.
Yeah.
Like that's not even a level of success. That's just like, and I wouldn't say indulgence, but it's just.
That's like, you are
like
highly favored.
Everything that we needed
was met
met
$100,000 ago.
So everything else is just extra. Like I wouldn't even know. Like that's not success. That's just like.
I don't even know, like opulence. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean I would think it's more just like I don't know why I have this, but I am grateful for it.
Yeah.
And so we need to do.
I would be giving back a lot.
Well, that would be the thing. It's like we're giving back.
I would be investing in the community a lot if I was making that much money a year. Like, and not even like net. Like net, I was making $200,000 a year after, you know, taxes and production costs and like all of that. Like just all the things that come with running a business. If net, I was making $200K a year. Oh my gosh, yeah. We'd be beneficiaries to some folks. Like I feel like I'd be setting up some college funds or something. Like
Oh, I would
And the
love.
college fund would just be called like sending minority kids to college fund. Like that's it. Like it's just very straightforward. And it's not even based on academics.
Could we call it SMAT?
SMAT. S-M-A-T.
Sending minorities all the way through college or something.
SMATka.
Well, no, it would just be like SMAT.
SMAT. Sending minorities
And then we
all the way.
could make T-shirts like I'm SMAT. So like meeting, and we can go down to like, nurses, like especially academic nurses, love Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is, it's just like, so it's a concept of like, for individuals to feel fulfilled, there are like different levels that are needed. So like you and I are having difficulty with the basic level, which is like, there's food which we can get, and then there's like shelter which we're like struggling with or we have problems with. So if your basic needs are not met, then you cannot even be bothered with higher level thoughts.
No, yeah, totally. 'Cause remember I told you about that, like looking at us when we were in our first year of marriage. You're gonna look it up while I'm talking. Okay, looking at us in our first year of marriage when we were very poor and like living in a small apartment and like having to constantly think about money in a very just intense way, right?
Yeah, so this is a good way to put it.
Yeah, we couldn't even think about things like 401ks or savings accounts and stuff like that. We couldn't even think about those things. But then, as time went on, by year like 3, 4 of being together, yeah, we hit a level of existence. But remember, we had so many conversations about that where it was like, we've hit this level, but now it's just like we've hit a new tier of things to think about, of things to like consider in life, of like,
Right.
oh, right, we should start thinking about saving more, and we should start like, you pulled up the thingy. What is it?
Well,
called?
it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Gotcha.
I guess.
There's a lot of them?
Oh yeah, I mean people interpret it differently, but
Wow. Y'all, there's a whole situation he's got on his phone.
But it's kind of different. So like it's a pyramid, and then it has like different.
Keep you talk.
Yeah, it's just got like different levels of need. So like if you are not meeting the basic level, which we technically are, so physical, so it's like air, water, food, health, or whatever,
rest,
then you can't really think about security, which is the need for safety, shelter, or stability, because I'm starving to death.
Right.
So if I'm starving to death, that's going to take precedent, right? And then it goes above, so like social needs, need for being loved or belonging.
So it's like, how can you get someone who needs health insurance to care about the climate? They're worried about their kids getting to school. Like, you have to hit the baser needs first of an entire community or class or group or whatever before you can then entertain these grander, broad changes in life. I don't know how we got here from my question of what does success look like to you? But we got here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we're here, so I'm going to talk about. I mean, this is just a rambling podcasty video.
Well, so this is like because as you said, you were like, oh, I mean, I feel like we're only going to be able to talk about relationships for so long, and I feel like that's kind of true.
If you want
to a degree
more relationship questions, or if you have more relationship questions, or you want to keep talking about relationships, like that's cool, that's fine. As again, tagging to the like, ooh, it's a hint. If you saw the other video, this is a tie into it. If we talk about individuality, then it's like when I come on to these videos, I don't want it always to be about relationships.
Right. Or like you don't always want to be the catalyst for you coming on here.
Right.
I'm Mr. Hallease. I'm her husband, and so that's why I'm here.
Right.
To play that role.
But it's like I don't need to be recognized as an individual. I just feel like we can talk about other stuff.
Because we do talk about other stuff. Like these are the conversations that we usually have, actually. It's more stuff like this rather than like, how am I making sure that you are feeling individual?
Or am I like, how do I feel like my gender is interrupting the marriage?
Right.
Or something.
It's not. Our conversations are usually not this. It's usually us getting deep into like some abstract idea that has been presented to us. Like,
or like, what phone carrier do I want to switch to? I want to talk about dinosaurs.
We could talk about that in a podcast.
Dinosaurs?
No.
Aw.
No, about how you're thinking
I
about
just want to play
switching.
with dinosaurs.
How you're thinking about switching phone carriers. We could literally have a whole podcast episode. What do we call? No, we're calling it Beastcast. We're calling these Beastcast. We have to stick to that.
I can bust out my charts.
Yeah, and how he is so analytical about all things that
really
he
that bad.
is figuring out the pros and cons to each of the major phone carriers and how we should approach it.
Those who cannot create, criticize. So I like critiquing stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do not have a creative bone in my body.
But it's very complimentary in that, if we're going to just bring it back to relationships or whatever, I guess. It is very complimentary, though, because, like, there are things that I find that I'm very analytical about or, like, precise about, and then and you could care less. But then I've noticed, like, for example, when I mentioned in passing to you after I formed the LLC, like, oh, man, I need to get a business bank account. I got to, like, look into that and do that. And within a couple days, I think I had done some ancillary Googling of like major bank chains. Within a couple days, you came to me and was like, Frost.
No.
And here's why. And then
We were driving back from Austin.
It.
We were driving back from Austin.
I didn't even know he had been doing that.
I was in the passenger seat, and we passed by the Frost Bank, like the big Frost Batman building
Batman
in Austin.
building, yeah.
I mean, that's what they call it, right? What do you call it? No, it's the
owl.
Superman's Fortress of Solitude or something.
Oh, I didn't know they had that kind of
What are
name
they-
for it. I've
'cause-
always heard it as like the clock tower, the owl tower.
His Fortress of Solitude is like...
You're getting into comics.
It's very icy. Well, just it looks whatever. So we were passing by that. There was a Frost Bank billboard, and I Googled it real quick. I was like, oh, they have the cheaper like fees or whatever.
You had done other stuff too. Like that was the catalyst.
Well, I told you what about Frost, and you were like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then you started looking more into it. So that way, by the time I was making a decision, you had essentially done all of the preliminary research, and I could just trust your research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's bad that you're like this. It helps me a lot that you're like this.
Yeah, but it's almost. Oh, you made that point earlier about.
You compliment.
Well, no, it's almost like I fixate on things.
You do
A little too much.
Well, not too much. Like I guess depending on what the thing is.
Right. So I'm also looking at phones, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah,
so many phones.
you get into
Deep
the
in the weeds.
minutia of it all.
So many weeds.
A lot.
There's weeds everywhere.
I feel like we answer we did. What does success look like for you as an individual? And
In a roundabout way, yes.
And for you, it is finding fulfillment in your employment,
Well,
amongst other things.
I said something else, and I would actually say that that's the final or like the conclusion is that if I could feel happy, not just in my personal life, but in like if there was no break in the happiness, like I wasn't feeling like, oh man, work is whatever. It's like, oh, I'm happy in all facets of my life. Like,
What'd you say? You said it was like every day of the week.
regardless of time, regardless of day of the week.
Yeah. Like you're not working for the weekend anymore?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going, like, it's Monday. Cool. Tuesday, cool. Like, I'm that level of excited. It's like, oh, it's
Regardless
Saturday.
of
Oh, yeah,
day.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for Saturday because that's when the races are.
I'm curious, like, that's an interesting frame of mind because I feel like I hit that for a little while when I first went freelance.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's actually interesting that you say it that way because now I do more or less work Monday through Friday still. And that's not because I necessarily want to, but because it fits better into like your life.
Well,
too.
it's also healthier to have a little bit of a break.
It's healthier to have a little bit of a break, but like in my mind, the day of the breaks are irrelevant.
Ah.
Like if I wasn't tied to you in that way, in the way that your life is still very structured in a Monday through Friday kind of way, then yeah, maybe some weeks my break would be Wednesday, Thursday, or some weeks my break would be Monday and Friday. Like it'd be random. It'd be a little more random. And like in general, like my schedule as a freelancer would probably fluctuate a lot more because I really am not dependent upon a Monday through Friday schedule to do my life.
Right.
But you are. So I have structured my freelance life around that because you do not have the capability to move like I do. So I'm like, well, it's easier for me to bend to you, so let me bend to you. or I understand how you feel that way, because I got a taste of it when I first went freelance, and then I quickly realized like, ooh, this feels really good and I like this, but I can't do this and also still be present in the way that you need me to. So I gotta shift back. Or like, you know, work around that. But yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Because they do benefit and we appreciate it.
They really do help.
We really appreciate it.
And in the comments below, let us know what topics you would like us to cover. The topics we cover do not need to be relationship based.
They can be.
They can be, because we are a couple or whatever. But they don't have to be. I'm Hallease.
I'm Mr. Hallease.
Thanks for watching / listening, if you're listening. And we'll see you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.